Okay, can you hear me? Testing, 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 testing. For the sound. Hello. Not sure where the sound is. Make sure I'm getting a feedback. All right, looks like the camera's working. Let's check the YouTube feed and see if it's working. Wait a minute for see if anyone comes on in the live chat. See if that sound quality is okay. Is there anybody in Happy Land? Shows me. Let me see if it shows any of you guys. Esoteric sex magic of the of complete enlightenment. That's what we're going to be getting into today, guys. I got about 30 minutes for the show, so please sit back and join me as we go down a meandering path of magical inquiry. Keep in mind, this is going to be almost entirely based on my own experience and my understanding of esoteric ancient Taoism, specifically the school of complete reality, which is Master Liu Dongbing's school. Master Liu Dongbing. All right, I'm waiting for the feedback loop. Hey, we've got someone in the chat. Paradox Fossil. Is my sound quality okay? Can you give me yo's or sevens if you can hear me okay? Because I'm having a real long delay on trying to check it on YouTube. If you could do that for me, man, I'd be super appreciative. Okay, we're good. We're good on sound. Awesome. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Wayfarer and Wildcat alike. I hope you are doing well this Monday, June 26th, 2023. It's just a few days after the summer solstice. See how that looks. I'm just hanging around in a t-shirt and my undies. I'm actually I'm not at the office, but oh, nice. Paradox Fossil mentions that he just had a barbecue and grilled up some pork chops. Nice. Were those thin or thick cut? And did you put barbecue sauce on them or just salt and pepper? That sounds delicious, man. I love the barbecue. Thick, nice. I love the smell of wood smoke and charcoal and getting out there and fanning the coals. I don't these days, man. Your guys' barbecues are amazing. Dry rub, nice, nice, with some cayenne pepper, black pepper, white pepper, garlic powder. Is that what it is? Onion powder. Did you go the whole 9 yards? Feeding it through the M60, the back nine, right? Good man. I got a little distracted. What was I gonna say? Oh, welcome, Wizard Warrior, Wanderer, Wayfarer, Wildcat, all that happy horse shit that keeps YouTube pumping for the man. Please hit the thumbs up, guys. Like and subscribe. Come back later and comment on the video if you find the topic interesting. I hope the sound quality is okay. It looks like the microphone is still picking up from my laptop rather than my earbud. It says my earbuds are connected, but it doesn't show here on YouTube that it's picking it up there. So I'll have to check the settings. I don't think I can do it right now though while I'm in the thick of it. So I'll just assume, let's see, is that what's picking up the sound? Is it this little earbud or is it this one? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. I'm gonna guess it's the earbud. Who knows? If it was the earbud, you probably heard me playing with it. Both. Huh. Okay. The juices of bacon section soaked through. Nice. That sounds delicious, man. I'm a meat eater, man. I'm a carnivore. Well, I'm an omnivore, but I love real good fresh cooked meat on the barbecue. And again, I was going to mention that these days I've been back home to the States recently, and people have gas grill barbecues in their backyards that are just beautiful. That you can just you click it on. You know, it's got a lid. Get it to 550. Go out there, throw a steak on it, and it grills it up so perfect and delicious. It's just unbelievable. I mean, when I was young, the only way you barbecued was you had one of those little metal drums with a lid. It looks like a I don't know, it looks like a UFO, right, on a tripod or four legs or whatever, and then you fill it with grocery store charcoal, and then squirt some lighter fluid on there, and then fire it up, and make sure you fan the coals, get them flaming really good. But it took time. It was a charcoal Weber. I might have to look into that. I'd love to have a barbecue, but they just really don't kind of allow it here in the city. We do, and they use these flat, long, short barbecues and then put skewers on top of it. So they cook up a bunch of skewers. They put all the meat on skewers and then skewer cook barbecue, which is fun too. Any way to barbecue is fun, especially in the month of July, man. That is a real Independence Day. Salute to the old, am I doing that right? Salute to the old flag, old glory. It's really shows the independent nature of the American people and the spirit of 1776. I love it, man. I'd love to be home for the 4th of July this year, but it's going to be late July probably before I'm able to get back over there. Our school semester doesn't end until actually, I think it officially ends on the 18th of July, but I think my last work day is like the 14th, something like that. So after that, I'll be pack them up, pack them in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. All right, I won't tear a sock up, punk. You better back up, try and play and roll the whole cruel act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump and touch the ceiling. You guys know that one, right? House of Pain. That's some old school 1980s Irish rap. Maybe they might have been Scottish. No, they were Irish. They were Irish. House of Pain was Irish. I think they were Boston fellas, maybe. Were they from? Yeah, probably. I think I remember that accurately. All right, let's get into some shoes, man. So I titled the video, and again, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, comment, like, and subscribe. Everything that keeps YouTube working correctly with the algorithms. Uh, so I wanted to talk about esoteric sex magic. Now, the first thing you got to know about it is this magic wand, the wand of power and creation, has 4 achievements. Uh, in this order: elongation, swelling, firmness, and heat. So I'll just mention that once. If you can't get the 4 attainments, as they call them in Tao, then you shouldn't be engaging in flowery battle. But if you can achieve those 4 attainments, it shows, number 1, elongation, that the muscle structure is good, that your muscles are up to the task of your magic. Then swelling shows that the blood is coursing correctly and the blood is up to the task. The next one is firmness. Firmness shows, there's a little gnat. Firmness shows the power of the tendons in the body, and it says that your tendons are up to the task of doing good magic. The integration of yin and yang, taiji. This is only, guys, keep in mind, this is only supposed to be practiced under the guidance of natural law. That means a man and a woman in a monogamous relationship sanctioned by God. So keep that in mind. Nothing else works. Everything else is deviation, decadence, degeneration from truth and natural law. So if you go against that, then this isn't the video for you. The 4th attainment is fiery heat, the passion of the spirit. So this shows that the bone marrow is up to the task, because when you integrate and engage in flowery battle with your beloved, then you're going to open all pores of the body, and it's the wind and the chi will penetrate straight into the bone marrow. Now, a lot of men don't pay attention to these attainments, and as a result, they injure their primordial chi, the divine spark, the Christ-like consciousness, and then they become what? They get in there and they get it done, two pumps and a squirt, and then they feel disappointed. The woman feels disappointed. Everything is a failure. So make sure that you get those four attainments and realize that you're working over a long period of time to heat the waters of life. Now, I want to preface this by starting, which I already stated, which is natural law, and I want to follow that up with a secondary principle, which is secondary principle. Oh, which is you have to find and secure a high priestess for your magic. So before you get too far ahead of yourself, you have to be of age, which is 25 years old, right? So this isn't for kids. None of that messing with the kids stuff. That's a no-no, right? You have to be a grown adult in a beneficial, harmonious, monogamous relationship in order to practice this style of esoteric Tao. Uh, okay, so first step is securing the high priestess for the practice of magic. If you're a man, this is mostly geared towards men because I'm a man. You know, um, sometimes out there in the world they'll be like, "Hey, lady," and it's like, "What? I got a 5 o'clock shadow. What kind of lady you think I am, anyway?" You know what I'm saying? Um, no chicks with dicks on this one, guys. So now that we've got all that degeneracy out of the way, let's stick to the normalcy of natural law. Um, so, in order, a young man had asked me recently what my opinion was and my advice from the magical arcanum cards of the esoteric secrets of internal alchemy. And so I pulled the strength card for the fella, and it's a really good one. It's a fiery, passionate card, but it also means I'm going to set these two cards aside because I pulled those for myself recently, and I need to contemplate their imagery, the symbolism. The tarot is symbolism first and foremost, guys. It speaks to the deepest levels of our being. Yeah, Tomas, good to see you, Sir Tomas. I am back. The 100-day magical challenge is on day 36 with hypnoapotheosis. I've been working on fractionation, the ice fixation method, the stairwell method, the staircase method. I've created two other methods for myself: the mystic cabin in the woods and the astral temple. And I've realized that all of these different systems of self hypnosis will gravitate towards different types of magical endeavor. My mystic cabin in the woods hypnotic induction has led to me doing a lot more writing on my books. I'm not going to pull that up right now. That's not today's topic. But wow, man, huge successes. And I hope that all of you guys are meeting with success with affirmation and auto suggestion and going deep, getting in there nice and deep, progressive relaxation. All of those methods are super, super beneficial, man. And they fall right in line with today's topic, which is esoteric sex magic of the ancient Chinese clan of the School of Complete Reality. So, a young man, you guys might know him as a Free Gift from God. His name is Frank, and he lives out in Jersey. Said that he was interested in finding a high priestess for his practice of sex magic. And so, I didn't give him a really good, well developed response yesterday. Are you back in Asia? Are you in Thailand right now, man? Has time gone by that quickly that you've already arrived in Thailand? Is that what's going on? If so, man, good magic. You're really getting it done. Guys, go over to Thomas Sun's YouTube channel and check out all of his great work on it looks like we might have a time delay because he's way behind in the chat. Uh, check out all his great work on hypnotherapy and everything he's doing over there, because he's having a retreat right now in Thailand. Beautiful weather for it. And man, I would like to be down there with you doing some qigong out in the park and some massage. So this young man had asked me about finding himself a high priestess for his magic, and I drew the eight of the major arcana, which is the card that Aleister Crowley referred to as lust for life. This card directly corresponds with the Freudian idea of the libido and the id part of the self that creates primordial, instinctual, primeval desires for food, sex, engagement, procreation, creativity. All of these things are rooted in the fiery lust for life. So here we see an almost angelic like maiden character with the infinity loop above her head. She's crowned with laurels. She's wearing a loose fitted linen garment uh, adorned with fresh roses, showing the passion of the woman's menses, right? The monthly cycle. But she is gently either opening or closing, depending on how you look at it, the mouth of the primeval lion energy. That libido energy is represented here by the lion. And you see them in a pastoral setting with foliage in prime summer sky, that yellow, all that yellow on the background. I mean, you can see the immediate stark difference between the next card, number 8 to number 9, the hermit, right? So having tamed your primeval passions, you retire from the world. Now, these are cyclical ideas, right? So, okay, connection's no good on a highway outside Bangkok. Wow, so you made it, man. Good. Godspeed to you, Tomas. I hope you have a lovely time in Thailand, man. I'm thinking about you, and I want to see some videos so I can experience it with you vicariously. Paradox Fossil, I appreciate those fists, man. Thank you for that. That's really kind of you. So back to the lesson at hand. The topic for today is, I will reiterate, it is, let me check my transmission, make sure we're still good. Whenever I hear that the transmission's breaking up, I always feel a little self-conscious because I don't want to waste my time giving you guys a really bad, broken up, ineffective transmission. So let's get a real quick. Yeah, I can see that the internet is super slow right now here in Beijing. Um, Paradox Fossil, can you give me confirmation, man? Are we still transmitting okay? Is sound quality at least okay? Because if video quality isn't great, that doesn't matter so much. But if sound quality suffers, then it's really not going to be worth playback, right? Okay, so we're good on sound quality. Excellent. Esoteric sex magic of the ancient Daoist school of complete enlightenment, guys. Back to the lesson at hand. Uh, the young man that had asked me about finding a potential partner, my advice is this. Here's what I did. I had it in my heart that I wanted to complete my Tai G2. You guys know the Tai G2. I don't have any Tai G2 handy, but I wanted to complete my Tai G2 with a high priestess, right? What in ancient internal alchemy, we represent the woman by the shape of a gourd. And so that gourd is a vessel for the cultivation of your creative power. As a man who's any kind of man and has got his magic wand handy and has the four attainments, he wants to engage in the process of creativity. Now, that creative spark, that divine spark of energy, is going to see itself fulfilled because it is the God force in man, and it is going to enter the gourd and engage in creation. That's what you want to be wary of. If you're not ready for that type of high level commitment, then you really want to engage in in blocking the lower gate. The lower gate is located at the perineum between the genitalia and the anus. That perineum, that pathway, that where that tube goes from the testicles to the wand, it rolls back in the body and then goes up into the wand, right? That area has a muscle there that you need to practice squeezing. So if you squeeze that muscle, you'll get this action when you're agitated. So imagine that the flaming, powerful, fiery wand of generative and creative force is engaged, right? And then you boom, 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 squeeze. You want to practice that. Yeah. You want to practice that action in patterns of 3, 9, 18, and 27. So you want to get 1, 2, 3 squeezes in and then rest, right? Just like you're lifting weights. You want to strengthen that perineum to the level that you have a very good command of your ejaculatory function, right? So if you've ever suffered from premature ejaculation, or you have trouble engaging in flowery battle for more than 2 to 3 minutes at a time, this is the exercise that's going to save and redeem you. Squeezing, right? Squeezing. Now, there are a bunch of different muscles down there. So you want to try to work in isolates. If you're not familiar with this type of action, right? Like, see the ears, lifting the ears, that's the adrenal pump at the base of the skull. Wow, there's a little another gnat. I'm going to kill that bastard if he gets near me. And then so there are 3 of them. There's one at the base of the skull. There's one right kind of dead center of the back, right below the what are those scapula, but not spatula, but this bone right here. I forget my anatomy and physiology. Scapula. I think it is the scapula. I'll look that up later. I shouldn't fail in my A&P class. A&P is one of the toughest senior classes, right, guys? Everybody kind of occipital lobe, parietal lobe, frontal lobe, thalamus, so on and so forth. Anyway, so right at the base of the skull is called the jade pillow. And by working the ears, that helps activate that adrenal pump. The next one is down lower in the back. So you want to throw the shoulders back and let them sink. But you want to start from the bottom up in esoteric internal alchemy for sex magic. So you want to start at that perineum, right? And you can go ahead and get down there and make sure you massage the testes a little bit, squeeze them, make sure they're not painful. Just like a woman checks her breasts for lumps, a man should be checking his testes for any type of discomfort, right? So get down there, roll them around a little bit, tug on the whole unit, make sure it feels good and secure before you start engaging in practice, right? So you want to make sure that you're in a healthy condition to start with, okay? So if you're not, this first type of self-checking is going to help you find out and get in tune with that, right? So then you want to go back in there and figure out the perineum. Again, between the genitalia and the anus is in Chinese, we call it the valley spirit. So it's where it all starts. In Jewish mysticism, it is Yasod, the connection to the astral world. And it manifests as a regal purple energy with a silver aura, right? So if you've ever connected with that energy, you may know it if you're a mystic. But imagine a deep violet purple energy emanating a silver aura. So that's the first gateway. You want to lock up that gateway by doing those exercises. Those right, sit upright at the edge of a straight back chair and let the goose eggs hang, as it were. Yeah. So Paradox Fossil asks me, is this the root chakra? Um, I do believe that is what they call it Hindu in the Indian tradition, but I don't study the Indian tradition. I am familiar with it, but I don't study the chakras. I use the three Dantian system. It's a Chinese esoteric system that's much more easily simplified. It's well, they're called elixir fields. So this, yeah, I guess it is the root chakra. It's different though. I mean, if we obfuscate these and muddy the waters of these systems and too much interchangeably shift between them, then they get a little bit distorted, I believe. So I'll stick with what I know, but I'm guessing that yeah, it's probably the root chakra. I haven't looked at the Indian charts in a while, so I don't know. But it's located here on the tree of life, the middle pillar, Yasod. Imagine yourself standing here at the tree of life, your feet down in Malkut, rooted in the kingdom of God, right? And all of this, the kingdom of God manifesting in and through man, right? The kingdom of heaven is within, according to Christ. So here is the energy we're talking about. It's at the and again, mapping these on the human body and saying they're specifically located here, there, or the other place is not entirely what we're looking for. That's an ideological, cognitive way of going about it. We just want to do the exercises, squeeze, throw the shoulders back a little bit. You can Shaolin style, put it at the yellow at the waist. If you have problems with engaging in sexual activity at any age, then you should engage in some calisthenics, just some gentle calisthenics, walking, whatever your body can handle. Start really slow and then move your way up gradually throughout the concourse of a year. In the winter, rest and retire. Don't do anything. This really represents what should be going on. Well, that's not the winter card, but you get the idea, right? Renunciation during the winter, protect, especially guys like me, and I'm 50 now, So young men, you're totally different. You guys get out there, balls to the wall, and do what you like. But this teaching is for young men who can perceive wisdom directly and know that there's no time to waste. And the earlier you start seminal retention and cultivating a happy, harmonious, monogamous relationship with a beloved high priestess, a wife, if that's what you're into. I'm not going to say that because I know modern fellas are, oh, yeah, go ahead. I think it's the best way. Find yourself a good wife, get married, have a family. That's going to be the best, most direct path to truth for any given man. Now, don't rush into anything. Take it nice and slow. So, we want to summon a high priestess. We want to find a good woman, right? That can help us tame that primeval passion. Um, I wanted to give this message out to Frank in Jersey because I wanted to go about telling him the way that I did it. Now, what I did, and this is high magic, man. I wrote down and I prayed and I got on my knees and I said, God, I need a good woman in my life. I need a high priestess of the inner order of, the secret tradition, the secret teaching of essentially esoteric Christianity, the path of Solomon, the sun and moon, the concourse of the great King David. And as a son of Abraham, I need you to send me a star, someone. And so I took a full sheet of paper like this, and God asked me, he said, what do you want? What kind of woman do you want? That was the response I heard when I prayed. And I was in deep need, you know. I was already in a good position myself. I was working as a manager in a company. I was making good money, but I had lacked at this point in my life. I was 27, and I lacked love. I lacked the love of a good woman, and I mean, any man who's worth his salt is going to know by 27 and you're still hunting down a good gal, then you need to get busy, right? Because time's flying by. And if you don't get it done by 35, I think is about the latest you want to go before you finally get one. But work on cultivating yourself first, get yourself in a position of power. And then I sat down and God said, write it down, tell me what you want. So I sat down and I pinned out not overly specific, but not overly general either. I said, these are the general traits, tendencies, and attributes that I want: approximate weight, size, height, coloration, blah, 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 et cetera, personality traits, diligent habits and hobbies, even down to the language. I was looking for a Chinese gal. You guys probably already know that, because I was very interested in Oriental culture at the time. And I said, preferably if she's got Western experience, like possibly speaks other foreign languages besides just English, blah, 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 maybe French, German, etc., even possibly Japanese, Korean, this type of thing. So I was looking for someone of this level, and I wrote it all down, sheet of paper, folded it up letter wise, like I was going to send it off to God, folded it again. I'm not going to fold this one because that's one of my working papers, but I'll grab one that I can fold. Okay, here's one I can fold. See that? That's a little bit of a little bit of vegetation. Some guys stopped by the other day. All right, these kind of fellas stopped by for a visit. They're like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" I'm like, I don't know. Let's see how it works here. There's the building. There's the disc angling in, vibrating, electromagnetic connection, right? Disc flipped on its side, a vortex from the center emanated out, a couple of them. There were three total. I always call them the three amigos because when they show up, there's three per disc. One stays in the vortex in the disc and keeps the portal open. And meanwhile, the other two come and pay you a visitation. Anyway, I probably don't want to fold that one either. That's actually some good work there. You don't want to mess around with these motherfuckers right here, though. Here, this one's good. Okay, so I want to fold you because I think it's important. You need to fold it with good, firm intention that this letter's going to God, big man upstairs, and he's going to grant your wish. I mean, again, this is natural magic. This is something that God told me to do. I don't even know if I should be sharing it with the public, but I'm going to because I think any young man should benefit from a firm intention of will and being able to get his shooting star. So I folded it up this way, right? Like you're folding up a letter, old handwriting letters. People don't know how to do this anymore because people don't write letters. But an A4 size paper gets folded that way into thirds, and then you fold it into thirds again, right? So that right there will fit perfect in your shirt pocket. Bam! Just like a box of squares, right? Almost exactly the same size as a king size box of squares. So you take that and you put it in your shirt pocket so it's right next to your heart. It'll get your heart energy, it'll absorb it. I had to carry mine for about 6 weeks, a month to 6 weeks, every day. Take it out as many times as you can per day when you're in private, nobody else can see it. Read through it, imagine it, make sure that it's accurate, revise it if you need to, but get it down to where you know about it and it's so solid that it becomes a part of your being. Okay, then the magic will occur. Now, I don't know if I should tell you this part of it, but you got to do something with this paper at some point, and natural inspiration should guide you. I'm I've told this story before, but I'm not going to tell you the next part of it unless some of you hit the thumbs up and directly inquire in the comments below. If you say, hey, Frank Monday, I want to know how to finish off that magical incantation, that request, that humble and sincere, heartfelt request to the divine creator, the vast and the mighty one, so that he'll give me the response that I'm looking for, right? Now, this is not to be played with. It's meant to be done in humility and sincerity and forthrightness. So if anybody's interested in finishing off that incantation, I know Paradox Fossil, you probably already have a beloved. So the only part of this message that might really help you is, you might already know all of these things, but just after magic, if you engage in the creative behavior with your beloved, right, the little Tai Chi interaction, snuggling is one of things that, men sometimes overlook, especially if they fail their woman, right? So be gentle. There's no reason to get in a hurry. There's no reason to be all, you know, um, triple X hardcore pornography. That's not the way of God. That's not the way of gentle cultivation. If you're a man, what makes the high priestess feel your love. Yeah, no, I mean, even alone, you can still summon that high creative energy, that high priestess energy without even being single. Like this doesn't have to necessarily just apply to monogamous men in a relationship. You can also cultivate. Notice the coloration of these cards are very similar because they have very similar type energy. So, as a renunciant and as a hermit, you cultivate in a different manner, but you still don't want to let that spark of creativity die out in you, right? It's still the passion that powers human life. But your high priestess can take other forms. It doesn't have to take the manifestation of an actual physical woman. That's a lot of work and too much work for some men. And if you're already at a point of renunciation in your life, then you can still cultivate that spark. Yeah, you could still cultivate it. And it will all of these things, all of this cultivation, if you're doing your tantric, you're into your Hindu, I think that's Indian, right? Isn't tantric Indian? If you're into that Indian type stuff, then you're going to have more real. Yeah, you're going to have more real than real. You're going to have experiences on the astral plane that blow away any ordinary physical encounter, right? I'm not using this video is not meant to be as a catalyst to over sexualize anyone. Yeah, you can connect directly with a soulmate or even a divine angelic force without any muddying it with the prime material plane involvement, right? It can all happen, like I said, telepathically in deeper levels of astral connection, because I've done that as well. And I continue to engage in that. And that's actually some of the better, higher level experiences anyway. So if you've been there and done that, you've been up the hill, you've been up the hill to the great invisible college and stand among the megalithic columns and communed with the college of achieved souls and interacted on like really high levels, then where all of this is leading. But at the lesser mundane levels for young men coming up the ladder, Jacob's ladder as it were, and struggling with the trials and tribulations of Job and engaged in other various situations like that of spiritual development, spiritual challenge, then it is good to go ahead and sees an empress as well. Um, so you notice that I've been alluding to it the whole time, paradox fossil, right? Like there's a big difference between the high priestess and the empress, right? So I've been talking about it as finding a high priestess for cultivation. This actually is communing with the higher spiritual principle, rather than the direct engagement with the prime material plane and the Empress. So yeah, it's interesting that you should mention that, and I need to keep that in mind when I've got return visitors like you, Paradox Fossil, people that are important to the channel. I need to focus on and keeping that stuff in memory. The biggest concomitant to YouTube and this platform has been the constant threat, the sword of Damocles hanging over my head, that if I say the wrong thing, they could possibly delete me. And so, with that as a big threat to my situation here on YouTube, I found that I kind of distance myself sometimes from folks, and I um I think that's an error on my part. Honestly, I think that's a youthful errata. I think that even though YouTube threatens my well-being and creates a lot of anxiety over the work that I've already done, people don't hit the thumbs up, and they don't comment. The videos get um, you know chastised and criticized by the Karens over at YouTube. Um, Keep in touch, man. If at any time they make me go black again, they make me go dark. I've got the www.buymeacoffee/Frank Monday, and that's one way. You can click on the about section of the Frank Monday channel and check out my Discord. You can send me an email. My email is actually on the Frank Monday channel. I've also got a Frank Monday page on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. And so when YouTube does sometimes slap me in the mouth, as it were, I do retreat to those other platforms. I've also got a BitChute that I do periodically update. However, with all that said, YouTube still is the best platform on the internet for archival lessons and live streaming and connecting with community. It still is the best. And that's why I stay here. It's not for the AdSense, obviously. It's taken me 10 years to get up to 500 subs. So it'll probably take another 10 years to get to 1,000. Um, but I'm not going to let that slow me down, man. Maybe 10 years after that, I can get to 10,000, right? So in the next 2 decades, we're shooting for the stars. That man, I'm running out of time, and it's getting really close to office time. I got to throw on my game face and get to it. Thanks for tuning in, Paradox Fossil. I hope everyone out in Happy Land enjoyed the show today. Have a great time with the summer solstice and all this fiery energy. Make sure you don't let it ignite the fire of anger and irritation in you, because that flaming chi can easily rise up into the brain and overpower you and get you into an argument or a fist fight. Don't let that happen, man. Take a deep breath, count to 10, bring in that cool, healing energy of the spiritual high priestess, right? That quenches the fire of the agitated, aggressive masculine, what they call toxic masculinity. I mean, but stay ready too, like old Black Scout Survival likes to say, um, stay frisky, stay frisky, keep your claws sharp, and be ready. But at the same time, also be gentle and kind, and realize that we're all sharing this space together, and we gotta find a high level of harmony and cooperation, even with the bad guys who constantly attack us. We even have to show tolerance towards them. I love y'all, good looking, sexy people. Stay well out in Happy Land. I will see you in the abodes of the future. Until then, keep doing good magic, as above, so below. Holy art thou, Lord of the universe, the vast and the mighty one. It's all done in your name, Lord. The Father Spirit, the Heavenly Mother Spirit, and the Holy Spirit of creative energy. All God's children said, Amen. I love y'all, people. Stay well. Until next time. Bye for now.